Hey yo, what is up? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for checking it out. Let's jump in and explore some of my initial thoughts on the Toyota Tacoma. Let's get into it. All right, it's been a day later since I originally had planned on making this video. Thought I'd share my initial thoughts on my Tacoma TRD Off-Road. Just kind of preliminary. What are my thoughts having driven it around for less than a week, in all honesty? But you know, I think the first thing is ride quality. And you know, when you look at any of this stuff, it's really going to come down to, you can hear the beeping there for lane departure. I'll talk about that in a little bit. You know, a lot of it is going to depend on your perspective, right? What have you been driving? What has your expectation been? And then what are you know, what were you doing before compared to what you're driving now, right? So I was driving a 2017 Nissan Maxima. Loved it, absolutely great car. Just really felt like it was time for me to get into a truck. And so my, you know, even my kind of initial thoughts really have to do with coming from somebody who hasn't owned a truck, hasn't driven other trucks, and transitioned from a four-door sedan, you know, V6 engine, sport mode, leather interior, all that stuff, into a truck. Having said that, one of my initial thoughts is actually ride quality. I'm actually really happy with the ride quality. Haven't gone off-road yet, haven't, you know, really just driving it around town. But from just a daily driver standpoint, running errands here and there, heading to the hardware store to grab some stuff, I actually am really impressed with the ride quality. I expected it to be a little bit rougher. And I think a lot of that is just from a lot of the reviews and things I had read, just a lot of complaints that people had about it rides like a truck. I like that it rides like a truck. I wanted a truck. I had a nice, fast, you know, car with sport mode in it and all that kind of good stuff. And, you know, it was a pretty light car for a V6 engine, so I had good pickup. But I wanted a truck. I wanted something that drove like a truck and felt like a truck. And I've been very happy with the ride quality overall. Keep in mind, I'm running everything stock. This is still a completely stock Tacoma, so no lift, no tires, nothing like that. But right off of the lot, my initial feeling on ride quality is that I really like the ride quality. I'm very happy with the ride quality so far. Next aspect, I think, of my initial thoughts is obviously dodging in and out of traffic here just a little bit, but you know, obviously love the look of the Tacoma, right? Come out, see it in my garage, pull it out, got it in my driveway when I was working on some stuff. Love the look of it, love the feel of, you know, the Tacoma in general has a very unique look to it. It's one of the things that I really liked about having a Tacoma, or wanting to have a Tacoma. Next initial thought on the Tacoma is the interior. I like the interior. Yes, it's very maybe basic compared to other vehicles, maybe even a lot of other trucks that are out there. It feels very utilitarian, but I like it. I think it's comfortable. I know there's a lot of complaints, or there has been, about the seating position and where the seat sits. I'm 5'10", I've got more than enough room. It's got obviously it's a 2021, so it's got the power seating. 2020 and the 2021 both came with that power seating. I think that makes a big difference in being able to get the height, the adjustment, everything that you need to be able to get into the perfect fit for you and for what you're looking for. So yeah, the interior seating position, I like the large display. Obviously Apple CarPlay, nice to be able to just plug it in. So far haven't had any problems with it. Very impressed with just the interior overall. It's not the fanciest interior. It's not all decked out with all kinds of whistles and bells and features and technology. Even the dash and the front display is very basic. You got the little center kind of digital console there, gives you some different information, but it's very basic, and I'm okay with that. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for something that really was a truck. I wasn't looking to, you know, upgrade to, you know, leather interior. I didn't get the sunroof. Some of those things may have been nice, but it, you know, just wasn't something I was looking to spend the extra money on. So overall, very happy with the interior. Again, very happy with the drive quality. Can't really speak to the off-road or 4-high, 4-low capabilities at this point. I just haven't had the chance to take it off-road. Got it, you know, halfway through the weekend and haven't hit the new weekend yet. So really just no time to take it out. But initial thoughts on it, I think a lot of the things that I had read or watched or heard, you know, those things kind of get in your mind. In fact, one of them is the gear hunting. Toyota Tacomas are kind of known for, it's that 6-speed automatic transition. Sometimes it's gear hunting. You can't quite find the gear and it jumps up and down. Initially, I haven't really felt that, and I haven't, you know, taken any long road trips or been on the freeway very much, so maybe I'll see it more at higher speeds. But, you know, one of the things I really think is as you're looking at any kind of vehicle and you're reading up, you're watching other YouTube videos on it, it's gonna give you all the information that you ever want, but sometimes it may not be the best thing either, right? Like, I probably wouldn't have noticed or even thought about, is it gear hunting? Is it something going on there? But because I'd seen other YouTubers talking about it, it was definitely something that was on my radar. Now, you may have heard beeping. I don't know if that little beeping's come across a couple of times in the on camera or in the audio, but it is the one thing that I may be turning off, the one thing that has actually been a little annoying, and that's the lane departure. The lane departure warning, first time it happened, I didn't even know what it was. I think I was actually going on a roundabout, actually on a part of town that there's no houses there. It's developed for future neighborhoods to go in, but it's all really farms on both sides of it. But there's a couple of roundabouts, and you know, you're taking them, there's nobody around, there's no sidewalks, there's no people, and so I'm not exactly staying in the lanes, right? I'm just kind of hugging the corner and taking those turns. And that was the first time I heard that beeping, and I was like, oh, what's going on? Only to figure out that it's that lane departure. And I get the safety piece of it, but it seems like, man, more often than not, that thing's beeping at me when I know that I'm going over the line. It's not like I'm going straight down the freeway and I veered off. It's usually on a little bit of a turn or a corner, and it's just the way that I'm taking that turn or that corner. That's the one thing that I think I'm probably going to turn off. There's not a button for it down on the console, and I'll put some video there that shows the parking sensor, the blind spot monitor. Those can just be turned off with the flick of a button, just reaching down below the climate controls. But the lane departure is something you got to do on that center display. Go in there, you can actually set the sensitivity level on it. Now, I had it set to low sensitivity because I didn't want it beeping all the time. That hasn't seemed to have quite done the trick. It seems like it is beeping a lot more than I would like it to. So that's something, I'll probably keep it on for a little bit longer. Maybe it's just I need to be a little bit better driver on some of those turns and stuff. So maybe that's not as big of a deal if I'm watching it a little bit more now that I know what it is and what's causing it. But that's something that I may be turning off. That's something that I haven't been very happy with. Haven't really liked how that piece of the technology is working. I really like the blind spot monitoring. It's a truck, so it's not like a big SUV. It seems like if you look over your shoulder, you actually have some pretty good space. And so I'm not as worried about people being in my blind spot, but even before you kind of look over your shoulder, it's nice to see that, you know, light up. It's that orange light that shows up in your mirror. I think that actually helps. That's a nice feature. So I really like that about the technology package that came with the vehicle. I'll talk a little bit more in my kind of overrated, underrated about other aspects of the technology. But as far as the lane departure, that's one thing that we'll have to keep an eye on it, but that's one thing I might be turning off. Anyway, that's kind of some of my initial thoughts on the Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road. We'll, you know, with a little bit more time, I'm only at 125 miles, so haven't driven it a ton. Granted, I picked it up with, you know, 3 miles when I first test drove it at the dealership, so I've put most all of these miles on, mostly just around town, quick little trips, you know, 2 to 10, 12-minute drives at most. So we'll do a little bit more in extended video once I've put a little bit more miles, taken it out a little bit more, hopefully had a chance to at least get off-road a little bit. It's not really the main purpose of it. It is really more of a daily driver vehicle for sure, but I've got some kind of ideas and some plans, and so we'll see where it goes from here. If this is, you know, the kind of, you know, information that you're interested in, if you're thinking about getting a Tacoma, thinking about getting a truck in general maybe, or have a Tacoma, love for you to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll keep making videos and keep trying to talk about the Tacoma and at least my experience. And I'd love to hear your experience, right? If you've gotten a Tacoma in the last year, what were some of your initial thoughts, or some of the things that you liked or didn't like about the Tacoma? You know, throw those comments in the description. I'd love to see it. All right, peace out.